You guys have been with us every step of the way, from the very first day we broke ground, to the moment we lifted our first ball, to starting this roof. You've been here, watching this dream slowly come to life. And today, here we are, so close to finishing the roof. Every single day has brought us closer, and the excitement is real. We know you're just as eager as we are to see how it all turns out. We are honestly so grateful for how invested you've been, the way you've looked out for us, asking about our safety, pointing out things we might have missed, worrying about leaks. It's been incredible. Some of your concerns we had already handled behind the scenes, but others, you opened our eyes to things we hadn't even thought of. And that's why today, I want to take you along with us. Let's explore this roof together. Let's understand how we've planned for rain, how water will flow, and even how we might harvest it. Come with us, let's discover all the little details, one step at a time. Hi, my name is Sowino. I do videos around cooking, farming, and homesteading in general. If this is the kind of content that interests you, kindly click the subscribe button for more videos. We have been getting a lot of rain lately, the kind that softens the earth and cools everything down. The weather has been a mix of soothing showers and blazing sunshine, but honestly, we are just grateful the skies opened up. Our neighbors have been busy working on their fields. You can see their farms coming to life, green, neat, and full of promise. And truthfully, a part of us wish we could join them. But cultivating the land wasn't part of our plans, not just yet. Now, don't confuse this with this kitchen garden. We are not talking about skuma or terere or spinach. I mean things like maize, beans, green grams, lentils, crops that really push you, take time, and need you to be settled because they take months to harvest. Unlike the kitchen garden, where you can harvest in just a few weeks, these crops demand patience and full on commitment. The men today came in early, super motivated and ready to pick up right where we left off. Yesterday we focused on the inside walls, pushing hard to make sure we got at least 3/4 of the way up, and the men on the roof always on their job. So today the goal was to do the same thing but outside. They jumped straight into it, following the exact same process, mixing soil, water, and dry straw, just like they did yesterday. It's a simple but powerful technique, and once that mixture was ready, they packed it tightly into the spaces between the fito. As some were packing, others were busy mixing more material so the work would flow non-stop. And this is how the inside walls were looking. At first, you can still see the gaps between the fito and the chunks of straw sticking out, but as more layers go on, the wall becomes firmer, smoother, and more defined. It starts to look like an actual structure. You can run your hand along it and feel the difference. That's the beauty of building with natural materials. It transforms before your eyes. I stared at these plants, trying to read into their little leaves like they'd give me an answer. I looked at myself and sighed, not sure whether to be hopeful or just laugh at myself for trying. The regular kale looked droopy, hopeless, tired, like they were asking me why I planted them in the first place. And then there were these rosemary seedlings. They had rooted beautifully, standing strong and green, so all I had to do was to replant them. I knew once they got properly rooted, they'll do just fine, just like us, taking root one day at a time. Back to the roof now, and the team is in the final stages of roofing, and you can actually see them up there, working on that very top section. Unlike before, when they first installed that mini frame, the one the guy is sitting on, they laid down the plain sheets before the makuti panels to help guide rainwater. This time, they're doing it differently. They're placing the plain sheets after the main frame is done. You will ask why? For two key reasons. One, to ensure that the rainwater flows down evenly and doesn't pull or sneak through any gaps. Two, to protect that raised top section of the roof, which is more exposed and will easily let in water if not sealed properly. Once that top layer is secured with the sheets, they'll cover it with makuti panels again, not just for that beauty, natural finish, but also to keep everything looking neat and consistent. It's thoughtful work, and honestly, it's all coming together beautifully. Meanwhile, Down on the ground, the other group of men had already finished off the side they began with earlier that morning, so they shifted their focus to the living room side. For those of you who had questions about the roof and possible leakage, just look at this part of the build. Do you see how cleverly the leakage is being addressed? The angle at which the roof has been raised is intentionally quite steep, and that's not just for style. When rain pours, the water doesn't get a chance to stagnate or find its way in. It simply rolls down smoothly, following one clean path. From the top, the plain sheets act like a channel, directing all the water to the lower sheets placed along the edges. From there, it trickles down gently and away from the structure. It's such a thoughtful design, and seeing it now in action makes all those planning, discussions, and careful decisions so worth it. And also, about harvesting rainwater, it's definitely possible. The only thing you'll notice is that the rainwater tends to come out looking a little bit like diluted black tea. That's mostly from the natural materials used on the roof. So while it might not be ideal for drinking or cooking straight away, it's still suitable in so many ways. You can use it to wash utensils or do laundry, especially if you don't mind a bit of color. I haven't personally tried it yet, but when I do, I'll be sure to update you guys and let you know how it goes. It can also be given to animals or used in the garden. So honestly, water can still be harvested. It's not really a downside, just something to be aware of. In fact, the way the roof slopes and the positioning of the sheets make it quite efficient for water collection. You just need a clean container and a basic filter system if you want to put it to good use. It's something we'll definitely explore more in the future. Yesterday, I didn't manage to finish up with our kitchen garden because of the ups and downs of being present at the site and making sure everything is in right order. And to be honest, I've been having mixed feelings about the plants. I even shared my fears with my husband. The plants just didn't look like they will stand the test of time. Another mistake I made, I noticed we had dug more holes than the number of seedlings we had, so we quickly sent for more the previous evening. By the time they arrived, they already looked weak, and by this morning, they had started withering. But the guy who brought them assured us that they will be okay, that with rain and proper care, they'll bounce back. I'm choosing to stay hopeful. Maybe the rains will revive them. Maybe we'll lose a few, but that's part of learning. Not everything goes as planned, but we move with faith and patience. I planted the ones that still looked promising, pulling out weeds where we hadn't cleared and adding cow manure. It's way better than using fertilizers. It felt good knowing I was giving them the best chance naturally. Look at that roof, so neatly done, with just small space left to be covered by makuti. You might see the tiny gaps at the top and wonder if it will leak, but it won't. Once they finish that part, they'll add a plain sheet to cover the top, just like they did with the smaller frame. Then layer more makuti panels over it to seal and neaten everything. After I finished planting and mixing in the manure, I gave the plants a nice deep watering, just enough to help them settle in and start finding their place in the soil. That first drink is so important, especially after transplanting. It helps the roots adjust and start the bonding process between the plant and its new home. Watering is so important, especially after transplanting, when the roots have been disturbed. They need that extra support to adjust. Water helps settle the soil around them, removes air pockets, and gently encourages the roots to start growing outwards again. It's like a soft welcome hug from Earth saying, "You're safe now, take your time and grow." Without proper watering right after planting, all that hard work, tilling, digging, adding manure, could easily go to waste. It's a simple step, but one that holds so much weight in the long term health of the garden. If you're watching us for the very first time, welcome to our journey. We have an entire playlist dedicated to this building series, starting from day one all the way to where we are now, showing every step we've taken. I'll add a link card so you can easily follow the full series and catch up on anything you've missed. Also, if you're curious about any part of the process or want to reach out directly, my email address and phone number are listed in the channel description below. Don't hesitate to get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. And just like that, The final pieces of makuti were installed. One of the guys climbed up onto the roof to do a final inspection, walking carefully across the top as he checked for any leftover materials from the installation. It was like a thorough sweep, making sure nothing was forgotten up there, whether it was tiny pieces of makuti, bits of rope, stray paper, or any other little scraps. He was on the lookout. Meanwhile, the other guy stayed focused on finishing up the last touches. We are finally reaching the end of this roofing journey. What makes it even more satisfying is seeing everything I mentioned earlier now playing out in real time. Remember those tiny holes I showed you from inside the house? You can now see them being covered up as the plain sheet goes on top of the first layer of makuti, followed by the final panel that's tightly secured with binding wire. It's all coming together exactly as planned, and I love how neat and intentional the whole process has been. You will never know there is a sheet under there. Everything sealed up so cleanly, even the tricky edges. Watching it all take shape like this has been such a rewarding part of the build. Before I even realized it, we were done, completely done. And in that moment, I just stood there quiet and overwhelmed. It's something about seeing that roof finished, the curves of the makuti, the way it sits so beautifully on the frame. It brought tears to my eyes. It wasn't just pride, it was something deeper, a mix of relief, gratitude, and disbelief all wrapped into one. After everything it took to get here, after every decision, every adjustment, every prayer whispered along the way, it finally felt real. As I record this voiceover, I can still feel it in my chest. This roof isn't just a cover over a house, it's a chapter in a much bigger story. A story about starting something from scratch and daring to see it through. It holds more than materials, it holds intention, memories, and a kind of quiet strength. That's why moments like this matter. That's why I document them, because one day, when I look back, I want to remember exactly how this felt raw, emotional, and absolutely worth it. This whole journey really has been a labor of love. We have come such a long way, and as we keep going, we just want to make sure we are working with people who understand the heart behind this project. In the next few videos, you might see some new faces, people who really know what they're doing, especially as we move into more detailed parts of the build. It's not that the team we've had hasn't done well, they have put in so much effort. But sometimes we need a little more skill, especially in areas where our own research can only take us so far. At the end of the day, we do a small percentage of the planning, but it's the funders who bring it all to life. We thank God for how far we've come, and now the focus is officially on the walls. This next phase is so important to us. We want it done right, with care, and with the best hands possible. I know some of what I said might sound a bit heavy, but I don't mean it in a bad way at all. Sometimes things just need a bit of adjusting along the way, and that's perfectly okay. That was all for today, guys. I can't wait to see you on the next phase of the build. Bye! We shall try again tomorrow.